Okay, so at Toastmasters.org, we're going to click in, log in.
Do you want everyone to log in?
If you want to follow along, please do so. Okay. There's two ways to log in to Toastmasters.org. You can either use your member number or your email address. And then the same password that you always use. Okay. Now, there's two ways to get into Pathways. I'm going to show you both ways real quick. The first way is, of course, to click on the words Pathways across the top. And that will bring you to another menu where you can choose a path or go to base camp. I'm assuming at this point that everyone in the club that's here has chosen their path. I know this week that Cynthia and Christy chose their paths as well. The other way to get into Pathways is to click on your name. Once you logged in, you click on your name. And it will bring up your profile information. Here you will see your member number again, how long you've been in Toastmasters, all that good stuff, any educational awards that you may have achieved in Toastmasters, or if you have been an officer in the club, in the area or the district, you'll see that information as well here. If you order anything from Toastmasters.org in the shop, let's say you wanted to download some forms, anything that you purchase will also be here under My Downloads. Okay, so all of your information for Toastmasters.org is there. You get there by, again, clicking on your name. So let's say we want to go to base camp. In Pathways, there's two people that are considered the base camp managers. There's three people that are considered the base camp managers. One is the president, the other is the secretary, and the vice president of education. Okay, so usually when you finish a level and you submit it to the base camp, and the managers get access to it. I get notification that it's there, I will approve it, and then you are allowed to move on to that next level. Without that approval, you can't move on to the next level. So one of the things we're going to do today is show you all what to do when you get to the end of that level. Any questions? No?
No.
All right.
Oh, we're supposed to say that? Yes, yes?
Yes.
So when you go to base camp, this blue box, for the base camp managers, if you want to log in as the base camp manager, you can do that. For everybody else, it'll have the name of your club, and you click go. Now, if you have any pop-up blockers, it is recommended that you disable them. Pathways does not work well with pop-up blockers enabled. Okay, you'll be looking for screens and not be able to see them because they're behind other screens, they'll be blocked.
Calvin, one question. Where do you go to the profile? I am in the pathways education.
Go to where they click on your name. See where it says welcome, Sarah,
Oh,
and then click on.
So, we see the 5 boxes here: navigating Basecamp, your educational transcript, and access your path. The next one is feedback, badges, and speech evaluations. So let's take navigating Basecamp. This is a good place to go to learn how to navigate around in Pathways. I don't know if you've ever explored this, but there's videos, there's more information there that will help you navigate through Pathways to answer a lot of the questions that you may have.
Sorry, go ahead, continue.
So, explore my pathway. This tells you, well, we've already looked at the pathway, the profile overview. If you want to update your Basecamp profile, maybe choose another path or different things, that's what you would do in updating your Basecamp profile. Tracking your meeting roles. Let's say we click on that and we launch it. Okay? I saw the pop-up blocker move up here. I didn't disable it because this is not my system. But if it doesn't load, click here to open it. So I click there. Thank you. And what you're going to get is a tutorial about how to track your meeting roles. I suggest whenever you come across a tutorial, check it out. It only takes 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes or so.
Can now you get this, welcome to pathways education. Yeah, I think welcome to pathways. Okay.
So here we choose
But mine is different.
base path, right?
1 second. Let me go through it. I'll go back and show you how I got here.
Okay.
Okay? Track your meeting roles, hit continue, and it starts
You
playing.
can track your fulfillment of club meeting rules in your Basecamp profile. To do so, hover your mouse over the gear icon in the upper right corner. When the drop-down menu appears, select My Account. Here you can set your time zone and track your club meeting roles. To track a club meeting role, select the calendar icon underneath the appropriate role. Select the most recent date that you completed this role. Then select the Save button.
Okay, remember a few meetings passed, and Sonia told you all that to get past, I believe it was level 3, that you would have to at some point enter your meeting roles. That's what that screen is. That's where you're going to enter when you're the Toastmaster, the grammarian. In some clubs, including ours, the grammarian and the our counter are one and the same. Pathways makes you put a date in for our counter as well, and grammarian. So you'll have to do that role twice and enter it once for our counter and once for grammarian. Otherwise, if you have any of those roles not filled in with dates, you will not be able to move on to level 4. Okay? So every role, table topics master, Toastmaster, general evaluator, timer, grammarian, eye counter, evaluator. I'm sorry? Table topics master. The only ones that will not be required is the thought of the day and word of the day. Okay?
Calvin?
Yes.
Can you just clarify once more? So before you get to level 4, you have to fulfill all the roles? Or is it? Because
Before you get to level 4, you should have fulfilled those roles. Okay? And we're going to go, when we go to our website, I'm going to show you where you can find that information as well. Okay? Because I'm not the keeper of information. Yes?
So, some of the roles we have done it multiple times, but it's only required once.
You can only enter it one time. If you've been the timer 6 times, you can still only put it in one time. So you choose whichever one you want and put it in. Yes, and so,
For that, you will keep a record of it, so when you get to your next path, you can put that in, put those roles in. So you can always keep record of those and make sure that you update it when you make that transition.
okay, I'm going to close the window. Okay, so that will tell you, and we're going to cover that again. Again, you get there by going to, there's a little wheel over here in the right corner. And then you click on My Account, I believe it was. And that's where you put in those roles. Eye counter, general evaluator, grammarian, on and on and on. Click on the calendar, put the dates in. And then, at the bottom, you have to save it.
I have a question.
Yes,
Sometimes I do take the roles which are not there in the slot, but if I don't make it out, I miss that. Right? So, say for example, our counter, that person is not available, I take that role and I do.
yeah, these are the roles that you sign up on our website for. But it's up to you to keep track of.
Oh,
Did I answer your question?
yeah.
But it will be retained in the agenda, previous agenda.
It is there.
Okay.
It is there.
In case you forget.
All of our agendas are archived since 2012. And I will show you when we get to the website portion of this training, how you can access those previous agendas. Now, if I was to, I'm not signing on this base camp manager. Let's see. Okay, what I did was in that search box, I put in the words beyond the seas, CS, no apostrophe. And it's going to show me all of the members of our club that are enrolled in Pathways. Okay, you can click on anybody's name. This is Satish, for example, and I believe it will show you the different paths that Satish, his information about how long he's been a member, which roles he has already filled in that he's taken. So this is another way that you can follow up on your self as well. Let's go to feedback. This is a function that I will admit I was not familiar with. Some members in the club have have sent me feedback saying they did a speech and they wanted another evaluation, wanted my opinion on their speech. I never saw the feedback until I was preparing for this session. And some of them go back to earlier this year. So I will follow up with those people, let them know I wasn't ignoring you. I didn't know the feature was there or how to use it. So this is an area where you can share your feedback, or you can also ask someone to give you feedback.
So how did you do it? Did you click on feedback search or?
I clicked on feedback. Let me see if I can get back to it.
Yeah, so I'm maybe showing different.
Right here.
Question,
Yes.
can you can you input feedback for multiple members?
One member at a time.
You can do it for
One member at a time. But here's the thing. Pathways doesn't notify you, members, that there's feedback there. If you ask somebody for feedback and don't tell them that you have submitted it, they may not know to look.
It's not opening for me. Feedback window.
I'm sorry?
It's not opening for me.
Okay.
Is it under tutorials and resources?
It is.
No, actually you have to select a person and then you can go to their feedbacks.
Oh, okay.
So that feedback is under Satish Chandrasekharan. You see that breadcrumb?
Oh.
Yes, it's under, in this case, we're looking at Satish's profile, and the feedback is there. Now, if you click on e-portfolio, remember I sent you an email not too long ago saying your evaluations, to hold on to them, okay? This is why I asked you to hold on to them. In documents, this is where you're going to store those evaluation forms. This is all voluntary, you don't have to do it. You can totally get through Pathways without it. But if you ever want to go back and refer to notes or evaluations that was given to you for any particular speech, you would have it already. Now, in addition to that, I have asked members to send me their evaluations as well. I was volunteering to keep them for you guys as well. I'm just going to scan them and put them into a file. And only 2 people have sent me their evaluations so far. So I'm not going to make it the rule. I'm not going to follow up with people. Okay, maybe I'll send another reminder to send it to me, and then that will be the end of it. You have the access to save it right here. So you click on document. Let me see. Since Satish doesn't have anything in there, you can't see anything. This is where you would search documents by title. You would type in the word evaluation, for example. And click on the search bar. And if he had anything in there, it would come up.
Can we scan here? Or can we upload the documents here?
You would be able to upload the documents.
So Calvin, you said this is really just for our own personal benefit, there's no requirement that we have to upload our...
There's no requirements from Pathways or Toastmasters. It's just a place for reference for your own personal use. I don't, at least in the first path, I haven't seen any requirements that require you to save the documents. Is that correct, Antonio?
No, there's no requirement, but it's best to save it for your VPE, so that the VPE has record of you.
Because, for example, when Ansonia finishes her second path and does all of the requirements that the district requires of her, then she would be ready to submit for her second DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster. And if there's anything that Toastmasters say they need to follow up on for her, she would have that information available. Okay? Just like in school, the office may keep your transcripts and different information. Here, you have to do it for yourself. Yes, Antonio?
I was going to say, because when you submit for your DTM, there's documentation that you have to submit. So including the VPM report, I don't know if Kelvin showed you the various educational awards. They record each speech that you gave and the date. So when you submit that information to your VPE, the VPE has to put that information in the system, and that's your proof that you completed those and the dates that you completed them.
Any questions before we move on to the educational transcript? Yes.
So, can you search for your name? Can you go to the same documents for you? It shows multiple options.
Okay, there's mine.
Go to the e-portfolio. Go under the documents. So this is you viewing your profile, and it shows a lot of options here. So if you are an evaluator, will you go and upload it here? Because I see the upload only here.
My profile is different from everyone else because I'm a base camp manager.
Okay.
So there's different accesses that I have that you as a regular member will not have. GP will have it, and Sharon should have it as well. Did that answer your question?
No, I see the same view like how you see it. This is exactly same as my view.
Okay.
Because I enrolled in a path, it's showing all these levels. So if you click any of the levels, you have an option to upload a file. Click on the level 1, the letter level 1. Yeah, there's an icon.
Nothing's coming up.
On the word level 1, can you, yeah, click on that one.
Okay.
So here it allows you to add a file. So does it mean like if I'm an evaluator, I can upload the files here, or do I need to go to the profile and upload it?
No, this is where you would upload it.
Okay.
Add file.
You can pull that up.
Select a file. Then you select the file. And add it.
Add it, okay.
Question
Yes.
for everyone in the room. Do you have a file? It can be just a generic file on your document so that you can see what he's talking about as far as uploading, so you'll know the process.
Just a blank file.
Right. It can just be a blank document or whatever.
I should
To
upload.
experiment so that you'll know how to upload a document on there.
While you're doing that, I gotta keep moving. There's also something called badges in Pathways.
Badges like a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout have on their sash?
Badges are virtual patches.
Badges, okay, badges, good.
It's virtual. It has no value. It doesn't, it's not something that somebody can see unless they go in looking for it. So it's nothing you can wear.
Go into your badges and show them.
Some clubs are very much into that. This is level 1 achieved. And then I have one for leadership development activated. And they just showed up. There's a way in Pathways that you can give badges to each other. Again, I don't see the value in that. If anybody wants to know more about it, I'll show you what the frequently asked questions are, and you can look it up that way. But as far as your educational needs in Pathways, it has nothing to do with that at all. Any questions before I move out of this section? Very good questions so far. Put my name in. So, I guess I should start from the beginning. That'll be easier. Okay, educational transcript. Once you have chosen your path, it'll show here. Okay, so it's going to be on top. You open your curriculum. And it shows the percentage that you've completed in that level. So for level 2, 30% is complete. If I click on level 1, oh, is this still Satish? Give me 1 second. Okay. Each level that you complete in Pathways, you launch the project, you do what the project says, you give the speech. For example, I'm launching the icebreaker. Okay, here's the assessments we always talk about. For every project that you have, there's going to be two assessments. One you're going to take before you give the speech. Okay, you rate yourself on these different aspects about you being confident, you understand the structure of a basic speech, so on and so forth. And this took me right to the end, so I'm going to go to the beginning. Okay, here it goes. Access your skills before. You do the assessment. You have to do the assessment before. Then you give your own self scores from 1 to 5, 5 being the best, of where you feel that you're at before you give the speech. You follow the project objectives, you prepare the speech, you give the speech. Then you come back and you do another assessment. It's called after. You're rating yourself to see where you're at after you have given the speech. If you have given yourself any 1s or 2s, hopefully you're feeling more confident or better about yourself, and that might change from a a 1 or a 2 to a 3, maybe a 4 or 5.